All right, so the UFC 244 baddest motherfucker in the game belt has come to conclusion here. To kick things off, we're gonna break you down with just a prelim, some notable victories with some rising stars. One thing I liked about UFC 244 was the card was stacked. I'm telling you, a lot of talent, and it's refreshing to see because I just love where the sport is going. It's just going in all the right directions. We have athletes, killers, you name it in this sport. It's incredible to watch. So some notable victories. Corey Anderson, I want to kick it off with him. He had the KO over Johnny Walker in the lightweight division there. Johnny Walker comes in a little bit overconfident there, gets caught, but Corey Anderson, what a statement victory for him. I'm glad to see happening, somebody like him. 4 straight victories, so I want to see that guy fighting a top-ranked contender here in the near future, and he deserves it. Another one, excuse me if I butcher his last name, Edmund Shabazin, okay? My man, middleweight contender here with a head kick KO over Brad Tavares, just looks incredible. He's 11-0, 10 first-round finishes. Be sure to stay on the lookout for this guy because he's going places and just incredible. It's just his timing, the whole nine. I was very impressed with that. Last notable victory here for the prelims, we have Shane Burgos with a TKO in the 3rd round over Makwan Arhamani. Just looked great in the 3rd round. I think he was overwhelming for Makwan. I will say, just the way his personality was, the charisma, he's a very marketable fighter. So I wouldn't be surprised if you see, 2 more victories here for a kid like that. And you may start seeing him contending or competing for a title. So really good prelims all around. Just a stacked card, like I said. But the main card was even better. Wonderboy Thompson's back. Looked incredible out there. My opinion is, we need fighters like Wonderboy. He's just such a nice killer. Like, that's how I look at him. Just a nice guy, sitting there smiling. He's like head kicking and knocking Vincite, and I'm gonna butcher his name too. Vincite Luque, he knocked him down and then smiled and let him up. Just great fight out of him. Derek Lewis with the decision over Big Boy Ivani. Derek Lewis, in my opinion, lost his fight. But again, this is one of those fights, very, very close split decision there. It could have went either way. I really think so. It felt like, the one thing I will say about Derek Lewis, it felt like he's finally taking his conditioning seriously. He brought in a new strength and conditioning coach, I think started a new program. His body looked incredible compared to the last fight. So you can tell he's getting into shape. I think from what I understand is that he came in he started camp at around 290, came in about 260, but that's not where he's gonna stop. I think he really wants to get toned. I actually see him fighting at 240 next time. So keep a lookout for him. Derek Lewis looked incredible. Kevin Lee with a head kick highlight reel finish over Gregor Gillespie. Kevin Lee's one of those guys, he's always in some sort of highlight reel. I love watching Kevin because you really never know what you're going to get out of him. He had this lower stance, so he was really trying to, I felt like he did a good job with game plan preparation, staying away from the wrestling of Gregor. It just looked great. And the one thing I will say about Kevin Lee is he brought on new coaching, he brought in a new program, so he's changing things up. I want to see him fight 1 or 2 more guys, and then if he wins, he better be fighting for a belt as well. So big fight out of Kevin. The fight of the night, in my opinion, just in terms of, when I say fight of the night, I don't mean the real fight of the night. I mean the person that gains the most out of this fight is Darren Till. Okay, in so many different ways. Darren Till with a decision victory over Calvin Gastelum. It could have went either way. It was a very, very competitive fight, but Darren Till, not only does he have the personality to be a marketable fighter, not only is he just straightforward, he feels like he's so authentic. That's what a lot of the fans love about him. Not only does he have that crazy accent, right? But he just looked great out there. You could always tell that at welterweight he was cutting way too much weight. It was refreshing to see him going up to middleweight, looked a lot better, looked healthier, and just a statement win for him because where his career is going to go from now is it's up to him. So great fight out of Darren Till. And then last but not least, we have the main event. We have Jorge Masvidal with a stamped victory over Nate Diaz, a TKO stoppage in between round 3 and 4, doctor stoppage. And let me just start off by saying, you can say what you want about the way the fight was finished. Jorge had Nate the whole fight. He looked incredible out there. Just a great performance. Looked sharp, clean, crisp. You could tell that his rhythm just hasn't skipped a beat. Jorge, this was 2019. This was Jorge's year. With the Ben Askren knockout to the baddest motherfucker belt, Jorge Masvidal won this year. 2019 was all him. It's exciting to see a fighter like this just finally get his moment after so long. It just does so many great things for the sport. Considering that this sport, a few years ago wasn't even allowed to compete in the state of New York. Now having the president of the United States sitting there, watching at the Madison Square Garden. And then to think that a guy like Jorge Masvidal, who came from the streets of Miami, fighting in Kimbo Slice's backyard, is finally getting his moment after competing for what feels like forever. I think he's been employed by the UFC for like 15 years or so. So just amazing performance, just an all-around great card. UFC 244 was a blast. And I just gotta say, Jorge Masvidal, Mazel Tov. That's it for today. Welcome to Processing the Punch. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. And as always, thanks for watching this video. Stay blessed.